other sports is predominantly white, and especially since it's spread all over the world. Honestly, most teams only have, like, I'd say a league is, let's say, a minimum of 100, and in that league you might have 2 people of color, and that's average, 2 people of color in that whole league.
Although roller derby sometimes preaches itself to be like a very inclusive sport, it isn't that way sometimes, just like point blank, it just isn't.
I can definitely say the LGBT community is completely accepted here. Trans skaters are completely accepted here. But when the thought of racial issues gets brought up, it's a little more quiet.
So as a Black woman, right, the one word that we always get thrown at is that we're too aggressive, we're too loud. And that is that's a weaponized term that is thrown at us that tries to make us feel small.
The intention is to allow the people of color in the leagues to do the work and to teach and to show. And so if you ask me about my experience in roller derby, it's exhausting.
I don't understand why you would use that as, if I am a skilled player and I know the rules, I understand strategy, and I am exerting to the highest skill level possible, that you are still trying to push somebody down.
I don't want to make it seem like derby is different or more harsh. It genuinely is like any other experience you might have, especially living in America. Being a tall, dark-skinned, type A, queer, a lot of that stuff already puts me on the other side of the fence.
I just don't want any person of color to come into a predominantly white space and then have to feel some type of way or some sort of anxiety just being of a minority.
My experience is very different from a white skater's experience because we are constantly dealing with microaggressions, we're constantly dealing with implicit bias and prejudice.
And I've had people ask, I don't get it. Why do you guys feel like you need a whole tournament just for brown folks? And I'm like, well, when you go to a tournament and it's 90% white, you feel fine. And you don't see it as a problem. You don't see it as different. You don't feel that energy that it's different, but it's 90% white folks. And then they ask, why do all the people of color get together at the tournaments?
It's incredibly important for me to see my people succeed and getting the help that they need. Being out here and surviving.
Derby really needs to continue to foster a space where people of color can feel like they belong. I know there's been a couple instances in very recent history where many years people have not felt welcome in this space.
These spaces are very important, that we are surrounded by other people that look like us and that celebrate us, not only in our skill sets, but also our backgrounds, cultures, and ethnicities.
We want people to come in, do exactly what they feel comfortable doing. I think that that's the biggest part of it, and I think that's why the energy moves so fluidly in here, is because everyone knows what they're not allowed to do in their home spaces, and they just let people open up and be completely free.